Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, what's up, Hunter? I just got bored. Figured I would point the phone over here and see what everybody's doing. Put some plants in. He hasn't ripped them out yet. Got a nice new leaf right there on top. But so far, so good. He'll trash the plant roots from the house plants, but he leaves them alone, so... he's good. Eating, like I said, leaving those plants alone, messing with the roots like he usually does, but just doing his thing. Yeah, just stirred up the water, cleaning a few uneaten mealworms off the sand. So there's particles in the water between him eating and me stirring shit up. But I think he likes to hide out behind them when he's on camera. It gives him a little bit of a screen to get away from us. Excuse me. Hi, Jake Barron. What's up, bud? That's Pigpen, my tiger Oscar. Me, I'm from Hudson Valley area of New York. Hello, Nima Siri. Yeah, it is pretty cool. You kind of just go for it and see what happens. But I ain't much to look at. The fish is much better looking, so I figured I would point the camera at him. It's much better to be the faceless voice behind the scenes. Oh yeah, I've got this is a 75 currently for him until I could arrange the room to get a 125. I need space. But he's about 9 inches in the 75. I got a 45 or 40 gallon rather down here with a bunch of community fish. I got a blue gourami, like, oh, there's the clown pleco. Holy shit. I don't know if you caught that. Oh yeah, there he is. There's the clown pleco, one of two. I got the corridors. There's like 8 of them in there. Oh, there's 2 of the autosynclus catfish. Some more of the corridors. I got a kind of outbreak of this moss shit here, so I'm trying to find something to do with it. But I got 8 or 9 coolie loaches, dirty glass, a couple of African dwarf frogs, and some neon tetras in that one, and there's angelfish downstairs with another blue gourami, some more neons, a couple random zebra danios and black neons, 2 bristlenose plecos, and peppered cories down there. But this is the biggest fish I got. The fewest amount of inhabitants and the most amount of work. Setup can be, I got this 75 for like 40 bucks, dude. The pumps for the filter were like 25 bucks. I spent maybe 60 bucks total building the filter. It's just a window planter, a couple of ice cream tubs that I modified to make into like a little drip tower. And then it just overflows back in over here. Initially when I first started, yeah, I probably went a little bit overboard, but the more you can spend on decent equipment, the less headaches you have later on. Could try to do all, low wattage lights and shit like that. DIY as much as I can. Like this whole, well, other than the sand, I did buy the sand. And the pots, but everything else is stuff I had laying around for, projects in the yard or lizards or whatever. Just cleaned them up and repurposed it. But yeah, there's 3 Raphael catfish in here. You can see one poking his head out right there. They don't come out too often. The biggest one likes to hang out under here and very rarely comes more than like a body length away from that hole. Yeah, bud, this is something to do in between. Like any questions I have that I haven't already run into, like I run right to YouTube. That's where I got most of the information for building the filter, ideas on how to do it, different shit. But yeah, it's easy to get stuck scrolling, man, you know? I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I got kind of a short attention span, and yeah, scrolling can definitely lead into wasting time you didn't know you were wasting. But it's calming. I mean, I got a lot of fucking plants. Not just in the tanks in the house. This one was actually underwater a little bit, so it didn't like that. I had to move it. But this tank has nothing but plants and a few assorted snails. But yeah, the whole house is either, well, kind of both. There's a 70-gallon fish tank in the living room and a shitload of plants. Definitely keep you out of trouble. Hi, Erica Sutter. Suitor, sorry. Uh, where is our boy? The star of the show is over here where it's dark. He's kind of a little bit of a prima donna. He'll come on screen dramatically if I leave it just sitting over here. Someone says I should have Jaws music playing in the background, but yeah, he's a pretty fish. Just a pet smart fish, you know, nothing special from no, you know, real good breeder or nothing. I kind of took a chance, but yeah, he's pretty for sure. I thought he was gonna dull out and not, you know, come back, but he's about perfect for what I was looking for. Not too much orange. But I've seen an all black one. I would like to get one of those, but I think it was Vietnam or Thailand the guy lived that was breeding them. Yeah, I like all of them. My girlfriend is a little bit more selective, but that's fine. I can't have arachnids or live rodents in the house. Likewise, Jake Barron. Have a good night, buddy. Or day, wherever you're at. It's after 7 p.m. where I'm at right now. 7:21. Hi, Queen. How are you, sweetheart? Yeah, I've never owned a rat as a pet. My brother had one that I watched for about 2 months. He was cool as hell, though. He was cool as hell. My brother was a little negligent, didn't clean him that much, so he kind of got yellow. But he was a cool rat, for sure. But yeah, she doesn't like rats or mice. Um, you know, chipmunks, squirrels. She's usually cool as squirrels, but you know they're just furry fucking tailed rats. Yo, Munchichi, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I like the creepy crawly things. When I met her, I had one snake, and I rescued 3 since. I did rehome one, but I've got 3 still. The original one and 2 others. Her son had a bearded dragon, so she's cool with, you know, some reptiles. She doesn't like holding the snakes, but she's not afraid of them. But yeah, just the spiders. She's not a fan of spiders, bugs at all really. When we had the bearded dragon, she hate having to have a colony of dubia roaches. But she's good. I mean, I did have to talk her into the one because it was kind of sprung on us, but just like a dog, I couldn't leave a dog abandoned. I couldn't leave that snake. But yeah, she don't and she kind of resisted on the fish tanks because she personally never had any luck. And I'm like, well, I watch like a fucking million YouTube videos. I was watching fish keeper YouTube videos for years. And I'm like, dude, there's budget-friendly ways to do it. And once you know what you need to do, it's really simple to do it. And it's just maintaining it. Yeah, Google censorship is out of control, dude. It's weird. It's spotty, though, because sometimes you get away... I've gotten away with some pretty offhanded shit. And then other times, kind of tongue-in-cheek stuff gets, censored. I don't understand it, but such is life, I guess. But yeah, I set up the one fish tank. I got a 20-gallon. What the fuck? I got a 20-gallon. Let it cycle. Well, actually, I had it set up, had some fake plants and shit in it, and then I watched a couple more videos, and then I set it up again with real plants. And then I got fish in it, and the first night with fish, she's looking at it and asked me if I could get a bigger tank, what would I get? And I said probably a 40-gallon to put those fish in, which is how I got the 40-gallon. And then, like 6 months later, my nephew was at Petco, and I was just there to get food and to look at fish. And oh yeah, squirrels are the bane of fucking existence, especially if you're hunting or trying to be nice and feed the birds. But hunting, I've had them jump on me and almost make me shoot myself in the fucking foot sitting in the woods. But yeah, my nephew had the 70-gallon for $100 with a filter and everything, and so I got that also as part of my birthday present. Yeah, wire chewing too, man. We had fucking squirrels and chipmunks in the attic. And we didn't have an access from inside the house, which was weird. It was a door. You had to get a ladder and climb in a door on the gable of the back end of the house. But, I fucking made a little thing so the cat could get up and get in there, and made a cat door in it. After about 4 months, we didn't hear no fucking squirrels or chipmunks in the attic. Dude, are you hungry? Look at yourself. You want something to eat? Not that I expect you to nod or any fucking thing. Fucking blow me away if you did. Do you want mealworms? Or do you want the... Alright. I'll give you some pellets. And I'll throw in a couple mealworms. Yeah, it was... I think Munchichi initially it was a slightly overbuilt hunting / weekend cabin, and then they just kind of insulated the fucking thing. And the attic I think was an afterthought. But yeah, fucking weird, dude. Yeah, I'd never seen nothing like that before. My mother fucking had this place. They used, they were boot camp fucking housing units. About the size of like a mobile home. But they were little bungalows, basically. Whoever added on to the house that she bought, the addition was 4 of those. They put them side by side and end to end and made a huge fucking living room and a couple bedrooms out of it. But they had it was all trusses, and the space wasn't being used, so they had a hatch outside there too, but they actually built the ladder into the wall. I mean, I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to get shit into the attic, but eventually my stepfather cut a hole in the fucking ceiling and built a wall and put a staircase in. But yeah, that was fucking weird. Couldn't get into the attic unless you wanted to climb up the fucking stairs or the ladder. Yeah, it's weird what you can get away with in rural New York as long as nobody's looking. A lot of people kind of look at building codes as, you know, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. Oh, shit. What's over there you looking at, dude? Oh, you just swimming through the return? Yeah, yeah. I learned it's best to look. If it's too quiet, you gotta go look. If it's super fucking long barking spree, yeah, you gotta go look. My guy found a spot where the woodchuck fucking got through the cheap ass fence I put up, and it's more than big enough for him to squeeze his little ass through, so I had to patch that fucker up the other day. Yeah, it's definitely not a fence I would even attempt with a big dog. It's funny that our cat's about as big as the biggest dog, so he don't take no shit from these guys. Like, he'll just sit there and watch them walk by, and they look like fucking prisoners on their way to the fucking gallows with their head down. They're kind of walking slow, but they don't want to waste no time, and he'll still reach out and swat them and make them fucking run to the door to go outside. He's funny as shit. Never claws him, never tries to hurt him, but basically an open hand slap. Except Bella, the old girl. It's like blind fury. if one of the dogs bumps into her wrong, or if the cat takes umbrage with something, like she goes in full psycho old lady mode. Yeah, it's kind of hard. I'm sorry, Chelsea K. And he likes to hang out over here where it's darker. And the reflections suck a little more, I think. But yeah. And he kind of comes and goes as he pleases, too. Sometimes he'll swim right up to it dramatically head on and, like, mean mug the camera. He might still be a little mad. I would hook up another light on this side on that hook, but he doesn't like having no dark spot to hang out, so I gotta rethink that. Yeah, I don't know if he let me put the collar on though, Monchichi. I've tried to let him get me to pet him with like shrimp and shit like that, but yeah, he doesn't want to be touched. Kind of be cool if the catfish would come out of hiding. You can see his nose in there, kinda. There's three of them. Yeah, one is sometimes out by the heater, but he's not today. The real big one lives in there, but he don't like to come out when the light's on. Get rid of that glare. I mean, I could give it a quick scrub and point it at the other one. At least the corridors would be in frame the whole time. A few of them. Some assassin snails. But yeah, so far he hasn't even tried to like swim like through or between the plants. So I don't know. I'm hoping he don't try to tear them up. Yeah, yeah. My grandpa had one. Uh, you had to check if you when you came out in the morning to make sure he was not loose. Because if you didn't check and make sure he was put up, you would be doing something outside, getting firewood, splitting firewood. It didn't matter. If your back was to him, he would put you face first into whatever you were fucking doing. He was an asshole. I don't know how big he was. I was a kid, but I remember watching out for him when we went out into the yard. But yeah, goats could be assholes. Yeah, those things too, man. Yeah. My fucking brother had a pit bull that seen a goat at, I forget whose house, one of his friend's house. They had a big fucker, and they had him on a dog run. Like, they had 50 foot of steel cable running from a tree in the front yard to a tree in the backyard, and he had a collar and a fucking another piece of steel cable attached to a pulley so he could run around. And the dog grabbed him by the horn and, was kind of fucking with him. Well, the goat got away from him, and yeah, he fucked him up. They had to go get stitches. I forget how much they had to spend on that dog, but he had like 10 cuts that he needed stitched up, 3 or 4 in each one, the minimum. But yeah, deer too, man. My uncle fucking hit a deer, and it's on the side of the road, and he's hanging out with his cousin, and he didn't have, it wasn't hunting season or nothing, he didn't have the gun in the car. Cousin hands him his fucking knife. He says, I will go to cut the fucking thing's throat, and it like wakes up, and the thing is so dull. He says it kicked the living shit at him, shredded his clothes. Fucking yeah, he's like, I ended up stabbing it in the fucking throat and just like ripping. He goes, but that thing was kicking the fucking piss out of me. He's like, I didn't hit it as hard as I thought, but that taught him a lesson. He put a fucking gun rack in the truck after that. But yeah, people are like, oh, you could just, they see these deer where you could like hold your hand out with some corn and they walk right up and, they eat out of your hand. They're about the size of a half-grown Great Dane, and, got a 10 or 12 point rack, and they're living in some development, so they're used to people. They'll come right up to you. They're like, oh, you could just grab it and break its neck. I would love to see you fucking try that. That calm, sweet motherfucker is not going to be so calm or sweet if you grab a hold of it. Where the fuck? I don't remember if it was. It was Lake Placid? I think it was Lake Placid. Some neighborhood near Lake Placid anyway. My buddy was working up there, and yeah, they had whole herds of deer that would come right up to you, eat out of your hand. I'm like, yeah, grab one. I dare you. Oh, dude, yes. Yes. Like, I showed my brother-in-law, because he didn't know, nothing about what a deer could do to you. A video of some guy that had some on his shirt and went in with a fucking buck on some ranch in Texas. And, yeah, he was lucky to get out of there alive. That'd be a hell of a thing to do to somebody. Yes, sir. Dude, we were rained out at work, so we worked like 3 or 4 counties away from where we were living, so we took a slow scenic trip through the backwoods on the way home, well, the back roads, and there was it was 9 points at least. He wouldn't hold still, but I counted 9 that I could be sure of, and he was chasing this little group of does back and forth across the road. Bro, we turned around like 4 times, and between these two fields on the side of the on each side of the road, like he ran back and forth every time, like 4 or 5 fucking times. And I'm like, dude, if we had if we had a gun and that fucking house wasn't so close. But yeah, yeah, they do crazy shit, man. He was stopping like in the middle of the road and looking right at the car, and then hopping the fence and trying to round them does up. But I've seen one chase one, like, follower. Like, she was willing, but just making him chase her. And we're building a deck on the back of this house in Westchester County. And they're about the size of a big German Shepherd, you know, height-wise, the deers. They're not real big animals, but they have really nice racks. And this thing had 11 points, and his nose is almost right up her ass. And they're 30 feet from... the deck, the end of the deck that we're building with, you know, fucking nailers and banging hammers and shit. And I got a bunch of good pictures on one of the disposable cameras my boss had, but I got within like 15 feet of these guys, and they're just going about their business, and I'm clicking away with this cheap fucking gas station camera, disposable camera. Yeah, in some places we got some nice big, I mean, I've never seen any looking really bad. Like, occasionally you might see one, if it's a bad summer, like in the middle of summer, not looking too hot. But yeah, for the most part, we get all kinds of fucking people too, though. We get people that fucking hate them, you know, because they eat all their landscape plants and shit. And then I've met people that have more dollars than cents, I usually say, but he spends like $15,000 a year to replace his shrubs because his grandchildren love coming over to watch the deer eat right outside of the, you know, living room window. So, yeah, that guy spends a lot of money to keep those grandkids happy. Like, bro, you could bow hunt. You should just plant food crop on the other end of the yard, though. You know, not right next to the house. That just looks suspicious. You know, if you plant it at the edge of the woods, you could hit them with your bow from your toilet if you want to. Yeah. I want to do that in my yard just so I don't have to fucking mow it, really. I mean, there's yard that would look better as like a little wildflower meadow if I could find a place that sells a mix of like native, you know, grasses and wildflowers. I'd rotor-till that whole fucking third of the yard right up. Or if I could get goats, but the little lady don't like the thought of having a couple of goats, and I think one of the other neighbors already ruined that. They ruined having more than 2 chickens, and you can't have any roosters, and you have to have them contained always, which that's not necessarily bad. That's fairly easy to do. But the 2 chickens ain't giving you fuck all. But yeah, dude up the road had like 4 or 5 goats, but I don't think he was keeping them too good because he don't got no goats anymore. Yeah, mobile coop, it's real easy. But shit, I'd fucking raise a pig if I could every year, but I don't think the town would let me do that. There's a guy close that has a few horses. Maybe go talk to him. Like, hey man. Yep. She wants to do some vegetable gardening this coming spring, so some raised beds will take up some of that mowing for me. Yeah, yeah. Uh, my stepfather always had, I don't know, like 8 to a dozen chickens and a rooster, maybe a couple of ducks, but always 3 or 4 fucking guinea hens. But yeah, they would eat the fucking garter snakes and shit too. Like they're pretty good at eliminating things most people don't want. I was surprised the fucker wasn't raising them to eat too, but he didn't. They're a good little alarm system too. Of course, they don't turn off when you fucking want them to. Yep. You're on a fucking hair trigger. The volume is set to 11. What's up, Bent Jests? Or Bent Jesta? I gotta look fucking closer. Sorry, dude. Just looking at my fish and bullshitting. That's the fish. I kind of just plant the phone in one spot and let him show himself as he wishes usually. Yeah, I got this guy in with 3 of those. Right there's a Raphael catfish. That's a 75-gallon for the moment. This is my 40-gallon. Hold on, I gotta move the step stool out of the way, the ladder, whatever the fuck you call it. And his glass is dirty, but that's a community I got like 8 of those albino corridors. 6 of those little fish right there are autosynclus catfish. I got 2 clown plecos, 9 coolie loaches, about 10 neon tetras in there somewhere. There's one of them. 2 dwarf frogs, and blue gourami, which likes to hide in this big mass of moss that I have yet to figure out what I'm going to do with. And downstairs I got a 70-gallon corner stand in the living room with angelfish, peppered corridors, the same neon tetras. I got bristlenose plecos in there. Yeah, I got a lot of filtration on there too, though. And I got a shitload of house plants and aquatic plants growing in there. But yeah, I'm pretty much... I would not put one more fish in there. But when I do upgrade the 75, I'll probably upgrade the 40 to the 75 and probably make the 40 into a sump filter. What are you doing, Bella? You want to go out? Put you on in the backyard. They go in the terracotta, but none of them hang out in there. It does have some of the bottom left on. I might cut that out with my grinder and move it, turn it sideways maybe. Maybe the lack of flow, water flow through there keeps them from wanting to hide in there, because whenever there's open-ended shit, they like to hide in that. I was going to take that one out, really. And that tan one there, I have a couple 6 and 8 inch sizes. I was going to cut them down the sides and fucking make one bigger one that, you know, is open on both ends so they could pass through and water can flow through it. But yeah, they don't hang out in it. Yeah, I could do that too. The corridors in the other tanks would probably love that. I've seen 3D printed shit you put down on the bottom of the tank, and you cover it over with the gravel, and you can put a little in there, but it sits up against the glass, and it's like a tunnel underneath, so you can see them hanging out down there under the gravel level. I could make something like that with a fucking pot. Make the drain hole bigger and just cut part of the side out so it'll sit flush up against the glass and then bury it, or mostly bury it. I had a hide for my snake like that. I don't know, I think it was a dish for succulents or cactus. It was like 4 inches deep, but a foot across, a little bigger. I just hollowed out the drainage hole and the grinder a little bit and set it in there. I'm trying to be dramatic, fish. I gave you food. Sometimes he'll come up and hit the food on the surface like a fish hitting a topwater lure and splash water on me. I don't know, the last 3 or 4 weeks he's been doing that. Not necessarily splashing me every time, but hitting the top of the water like that. I don't know if a stink bug is hitting it or it's a leftover piece of food, but yeah, you can hear him. I thought he jumped out a couple times. Where's that? Right. There it is. Might be able to coax a catfish out. Yo, what's up, Brian? How are you, buddy? Yeah, it did. Here, throw another little pinch down there, too. And I'll throw one over here to see if the bigger one will come out. Yeah, that might get them out. I'm trying to entice some of the other fish to show their head in here. There's that guy. Kinda. Oh, there's 2 of them over there. But they're getting pretty big too. Definitely staying too big for him to try to eat, so I'm happy about that. I don't see the other guy poking his head out though. Hi, Spirit in the Sky Blue. How are you, sweetie? How's your pup doing? Are you coming out at all? No. Thought a little food around the entrance would get him to come out, but that one's being stubborn. Yeah, I'm trying to get the catfish to show themselves, but he's moping a little bit over here. He's back and forth, kind of per usual. I threw a little catfish food in there and tried to coax him out. One came out, maybe two. That one might have just been moving fast. This guy here. But he is on the darker side of the tank, and this is right under the light, so this guy doesn't like to come right out. Oh, that's awesome. I remember you commented on something and told me that, but yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's scary, you know, so, well, I gotta bring my old girl down, so I'll be right back. Come here, Bellas. Alright, I'm back. I'm sorry. I was talking to my stepson. Oh, dude, we get ants every fucking summer. Hi, Brooklyn babe. I'm back. I had to bring the old dog downstairs, and then I got shooting the shit with my stepson. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Hung out with my boy, which is always cool when he comes over. Because if I don't realize how big Pigpen has gotten, he'll be like, God damn. Pigpen got fucking huge, Dad. But yeah, so we just hung out. His mother had some crazy excuse why she couldn't pick him up, and we switched that out. I pick him up on Friday, and she picks him up to go home on Sunday, and then next week she'll bring him out on Friday, and I'll pick him up, or I'll drop him off home on Sunday, and we switch it out every week like that. But she always has, well, not always, but last minute excuses, and she tried that shit today, but didn't work. Yeah, he's probably bigger since I fucking seen him last, but yeah, he don't ever miss a meal. I mean, he does sometimes act like he's hungry, and then I'll throw food in and he'll eat a little and swim away, so I gotta get it out of there before it sinks. Makes a mess. I'd like to get that 125 as soon as I can. I'm still looking for one with a good deal. But I'd like to get a couple of other fish that would swim around with him that would, take up what little slack he does leave in the food department. But so far he's behaving. He isn't ripping out the Anubias plants or anything, which they'll come right out. I've already knocked a few loose just doing a water change and vacuuming. So, like, he could easily rearrange all of those and have them floating around the tank, but he hasn't messed with them at all. So I'm hoping he'll leave them alone, because I want to stick a few more that'll grow out of the sand. I could probably swipe them right now from the 40 gallon. But yeah, he's a hefty bastard. He shrugs and turns away from the fresh shrimp, well, frozen and thawed. He don't want to eat that anymore. Fish, he doesn't want to eat anymore. He likes the mealworms, and he likes the pellets. Yeah, I need to determine whether or not he's a boy or a girl first. But then I'm kind of scared that they'll breed, because they could be decent parents and raise up a bunch of babies that I don't have nowhere to put. But yeah, there are other fish that get equal size and temperament that I could put with them. But I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting another one in here. There's already 4 fish. Even though he takes up the majority of the room, the other ones basically live in the decorations. It can, um, especially if it's a fish that won't like stand up for itself. So you got to put in something that's the same kind of aggression. You know, they'll leave you alone if you leave them alone, kind of a dude. Uh, there's a few options for that. So I mean, I could get them. They don't get well. Some get a little bigger than the Oscars, and some don't get quite as big. Um, there's a way. I think you got to catch the fish though to really know. But I haven't really looked into it because I'm really not trying to breed them. I got limited aquarium space, well, space for aquariums in general. Oh yeah, yeah. Other fish will, they could like tear their fins up. So you got to get one that's fast enough to get away and aggressive enough to give it back if he starts getting the shitty end of the stick. But yeah, either way, I would rather have a bigger a bigger tank for the two of them to be able to separate and get away. Yeah, it's very likely. It's very likely. Uh, you know, you told them to PetSmart wasn't checking. I don't know what they would do if I asked them to take one out so I could see if it was a boy or a girl. But I think they got to be a certain size before you could really tell anyway. Yeah, if that turned out to be the case, and I got another one, and it was a boy, it would just be Mr. and Mrs. Pigpen, the Pigpens. Yeah, yeah, Mr. and Mrs. P. I would definitely revamp uh, filtration. I would have a couple of filter or pumps in there just to push water around to keep all the mess at least more toward one side because he's messy. Two of them would be probably more than twice as bad. And I have seen multiple people keep one Oscar and another type of cichlid in a 75, but once they get past a certain size, there's just not enough room, especially if one of them gets in a mood and wants to be an asshole to the other one, you know? It's not a whole lot of places it can go to, you know, diffuse the situation. I mean, with into plants and shit. I might even be able to talk Alley Cat into letting me build an Oscar pond in the living room in the corner. I doubt it, but we'll see. Yeah, they could. Then they just end up stressing themselves out and running into shit. Um, Shit. When I was a kid, a buddy of mine, his dad, the buddy that had the Oscar, the first Oscar I saw, uh, he had a 125 or a 150. It was 6 foot from left to right, 2 feet from front to back, and I think 30 inches deep. And he had iridescent sharks, I think they were. And yeah, every time one of them would start fucking with the other one, he had like 6 or 8 of them. One would swim the whole length of the tank straight into the glass and basically kill itself. Oh, is she ready to come up?
She ate a lot, right?
There you go, little girl. Yeah, he's been a little in and out for the first little bit, but he wanted some food there a few minutes ago. Well, more than a few, but probably around like 15. Yeah, it was sick, man. They were pretty fish, and he had a pretty nicely decorated aquarium too. After he had just one, he gave the last one to a friend of his to put in his tank, and he tore the tank down. And I don't know, it was like 4 or 5 years. It just he kept it, and one day he just asked me and his kid to see if to help him. So we went and grabbed the stand and all the filtration, which he cleaned everything out and, let everything get dry. He cleaned the tank and everything before he put it away. But then he went and got better filters, or he actually made a sump and went saltwater and made a big ass reef tank. But then I moved away, so I don't know what happened after that. But it was nice when he had it set up and running. But yeah, those fish were probably too big to stay in a 120, or would have gotten too big to stay in a 125 their whole life anyway, or the 150. But yeah, if it gets spooked and it just goes to swim away, most fish swim away from danger in a straight line as fast as they can, and there's a fucking half-inch thick piece of glass there. But yeah, and then some fish will just jump out randomly too. Like, I'm worried about him doing that. Oscars will do that sometimes, and he has been hitting the water, hitting the food at the top of the water hard. And I know he at least hit his head on the cross brace, because he had a mark one morning that was there for about 4 days before it healed up. Oh shit, Bella, what are you doing? But yeah, I've had when I put the blue gourami in the tank downstairs, it was being a dick to the smaller fish, the tetras and shit, and I found a danio, one of the zebra danios, and one of the tetras in a plant pot that's sitting next to the fish tank because they were being chased and they just swam and jumped right out. Luckily, he calmed the fuck down, and I haven't found more than just the two. But yeah, the other fish being dicks cause that all the time. Sometimes, like him, he'll get scared if I touch him with something and he didn't notice it before I touched him. That's good. I'll realize that when my phone clock doesn't match any other clock in the house. That's how I usually do it. But yeah, one time right after I put them in here, I was moving that bamboo right there, and one of the I think the spirally part touched him, and he dropped his color. He went pale as hell and would just not come anywhere out of the dark corner over there. Just turn around and look, and then just keep turning around and looking for about 2 hours before he started acting normal and colored back up. Yep. It sure does. Yeah, that's where the plants and fish tanks help with those dark winter days. Like, I got lights and plants all over by the windows, just about everywhere. So it kind of helps. But yeah, grow lights on the fish tanks and on the plants helps with that seasonal fucking winter dread. Yeah, it gets dark real early, which does suck. But it doesn't get as cold as it used to, so that, you know. So all our really cold nights are fewer, much fewer than they used to be. I remember the ground be frozen by now. I don't know, man. That pattern continuing in 75 years where I live will be tropical or subtropical like Florida. You just chilling, dude. Do you want a shrimp? No? I mean, I should. I've worked through some of the shittiest, coldest weather I've ever fucking seen. I should want mild winters, but it's just, it sketches me out. Colt, what's up, bro? Yeah, it's and the old timers around here still bitch about the 3 inches we get in the winter. It's like, come on, you're fucking 70 years old. I know you remember when the snow was like up to your belly button. And that was just the first storm, you know, that wasn't even like the total accumulation yet. Shit, my grandparents had pictures from the 60s and 70s of fucking massive snowstorms. Yeah, yeah, I remember a couple of storms like that. So fuck, a couple years before my son was born, so probably like '06 or '07. We got a couple of storms like that. 1 week, and then there was like a 3 or 4 day stretch where it was clear, but it was cold as fuck. And then there was another 2 days like that the following week, like 20 and 24 inches. Fucking, I did so much snow shoveling in that fucking 2 week span. It was unfucking believable. Get a snowblower. But yeah, now there's not enough to use the fucking thing, so I don't even drag it out. Yeah, snow tunnels. I remember the school parking lot. They would pile all the snow from the parking lot into one huge, big, long pile on the front side of the parking lot, and it would be there till like the end of March. But we would dig tunnels through from one end to the other. In that, and it, like I said, that shit would stay there for a long time. But yeah, snow drifts up to the eaves of the house, having to having to be dropped out of a window to shovel out the front door so you could open it without letting all the snow fall into the house. Just shovel, find the steps, shovel out the front porch, and then just start shoveling until you find the car. Yeah, yeah, running, asking, is there school? I don't know. Let's look out to see if it snowed. And yeah, snow halfway up the window. And that's not like just drifted up there. You look out and that's the level out across the yard. Yes, I love that. Snow days. I remember getting mad getting up and it'd be a snow 2 hour delay and then you're about to go out to the bus And they're like, oh, they changed it to a closing. Yep. Come in with purple fingers and nose. Yeah, I remember sleigh riding off of the roof before. The, the firewood pile on the back side of the house made it easy to get up there. Remember, me and my cousin almost killed ourselves one summer. We stacked the firewood as a ramp so we would come off of the roof, and there was no gutters on the back side of the house. So we stacked it right up to the to the fascia board, so it was as smooth a transition as we could get with the firewood. And we took his big wheel up there. I was probably like 6, so he was like 4 or 5. And it was one of those cool Dukes of Hazzard big wheels. And we went down off of that thing, and as soon as the back tires hit the logs, the fucking front end broke right in half. And we ended up sliding down and face planting in the dirt. Yo, Natasha and Goth, what's up, buddy? Yes, Goth. Yeah, I remember standing there shivering, all blue and fucking pink, and, are you cold? You look cold. No, I'm not cold. I want to go back out and fucking ride the sled or throw more snowballs. I see you. You're hiding out under the return. Something must be floating around over there, waiting for food to get pushed into the water from the filter return. Yeah, that's why I said yes, Goth. Makes me think of an English teacher I had in 9th grade. Mrs. Searle. S-E-R-L-E. Not Surly. Because I'm not surly. But yeah, she was surly. She didn't like to be questioned. She definitely got surly. Oh, was that what you were looking for? Well, go get it. It's a whole mealworm floating around right there. But yeah, she did that. That little riddle, first day of fucking ninth grade. Yeah, I had a well, he wasn't my English teacher, but we would try to sneak into his class because he rode a Harley to school. He was an older guy, white hair, long white hair, uh, mustache and goatee. I mean, not real long. He kept it, nice and trim and professional. But yeah, he rode a nice Harley Road King, or similar to school. And he's just a cool fucking teacher. But yeah, he would do cool shit. Stupid little riddle every week and give you fucking extra points. Some kids passed his class just because they got the riddle. We had another one, a biology teacher. His class was 50% writing down the notes he wrote on the board. And then once everyone was done, you let them know, and then we just bullshit over just random fucking topics from... It's all class related, but you definitely learned a lot more than reading a textbook and shit. He was awesome. Had a cool science teacher like that too. We would experiment shit. You don't learn about how it works in a book. Fucking, I had a contractor, very well known contractor over in Massachusetts. And his brother was getting weed from my boss because his brother wanted weed, but his wife couldn't know that he was, he was buying weed, so he made it look like his brother was just hooking him up with some weed every now and then, but his brother was coming to us to be the middleman. Fucking, it was funny. The dog fucking had him pinned on the back porch one night, the first night he came over. Yeah. He likes to come by and show off and then go pout in the corner a little bit, and then like sometimes he'll swim right up to the lens and kind of mean mug the camera. But yeah, sometimes he's more photogenic than others. Yeah. Yeah, I've had some shitty teachers. Now it's like he's trying to stay in frame. Not anymore. Oh no, you're back in frame. Haha, fucker. Are you not pleased? What you looking for? Alright. I'll definitely check it out, guy. Alright, there you go. I'll move it over here. He looks so accusatory sometimes. Kind of like he caught a peeping Tom. I gotta find some way to build a little blind to put around here so I could just kind of leave it angled somehow so you get a view of it without the glare from the rest of the lights. But I just have to come up with some kind of a plan to do that. Then you'll at least be able to see a little bit more, like him swimming. Let me try that. That. And that. Well, that's a little better. But he still kind of disappears over there on the dark side. So I think if I make a little dark space that I can just pop up and leave there. Yeah, that was pretty good. What's up, Will? Yeah, yeah. It kind of comes and goes as he pleases, though. Oh, there he goes, hitting some food. Is that why you're moping? Alright, let me put this down for a second. I had a boss that stopped me and said basically the same thing. He's like, "Hey, Mike, you ever think about it? Every time you've ever shook hands, 99% of those have had a dick in it." I was like, what? He's like, that 1% of women could have been a lesbian. I was like, holy shit, Gary. Yeah, that's an old one, Will. Jesus Christ, I haven't heard that since high school, probably. Yep, make a mess, dude. Just spit out pieces. Hence your name. Ugh, fuck you, toes. Later, Will. Have fun, buddy. Oh, damn. Alright, you gotta turn the plant lights back off. Yeah, I've heard that one too. I know a lot of bad priest ones. I heard I heard one the other day. How come a how come a priest can never win a race? Because they always come in a little behind. Jesus Christ, that's a fucked up joke. Going after more food. No. Just eyeballing it. Yeah. It is pretty sick. Yeah, that is a sick joke, BB. But that's kind of tame, though, really. I've heard worse. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes he looks... It's weird for a non-expressive animal. Like, you could tell if he's curious or if he's just looking at you like he don't know what the fuck you're doing, which is most of the time, I think. 'Cause I don't know what you find so goddamn interesting. I probably feel like paparazzi to him. Yeah, goth. I think I've heard that one before. What's going on, Colt? I fucking worked on a job where the general contractor guy, the dude who made sure everybody was coordinated, well, his name was Herbie. He was an older guy. And he would come in with 2 or 3 new sheets of jokes that he got off of the internet. And this is like early 2000s. He was downloading pages and pages and pages of fucking, or printing out, anyway, pages and pages of jokes. And every day he would have like 20 or 30 new ones. And it was so fucking bad that by the end of the job, I couldn't even remember the last joke he told us. There were so many in my goddamn head. There's just overkill. But he had them all too, from the dirtiest dirty jokes to the stupidest dad jokes. But yeah, he was always happy to fucking get us at lunchtime and share the jokes with everybody that was working there. They're both pretty bad. I don't know if they are, Natasha. I'm assuming they're probably a fairly tasty fish. I know people do eat them in South America where they're from. I know people catch invasive ones in Florida and eat them. It's a cichlid, but so is like peacock bass. I'm not 100%. I think tilapia is a type of cichlid. Yeah. Yeah, my brother does that. Like, he'll hear one good joke a year, and he'll tell that joke all fucking year every time he sees you. It's like, dude, are you fucking retarded? Did you get hit on the head since the last time I seen you? This is exactly the same way you brought it up last time, too. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, my brother Chris is really annoying though. He doesn't understand the concept of personal space either. And he talks loud, especially if he's drinking. So, uh, he wants to stand like belly to belly and just sit there and talk really fucking loud. So I used to just grab a folding chair if we were at an event or something like a family reunion or a barbecue, and I would just hold the chair in front of me and just turn in a circle. Every time he tried to step closer to me, piss him off. But yeah, he he's a really annoying motherfucker. he's he's a know-it-all, but he doesn't know anything. Like if he had half a wit, he'd be a half wit. And sadly, he's not even the dumbest fucker in my family. My cousin Mark has to take that. I get mad when I talk to Mark because he says some of the dumbest shit you'll ever hear out, out of an adult's mouth. Like, dude, what happened to you? Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't generally get too much of that. I guess I'm like just a creepy looking dude, but if someone's too close and it's making me uncomfortable, I have ways of making them uncomfortable too. Yeah, I think I've heard that one a time or two also, Natasha. But yeah. No, no, that's definitely been better. People loitering in the fucking aisles at the supermarket is a lot worse, I think. Yeah, most of the time, at least when they're online, I notice. But that's probably part of how, everybody puts their fucking cart in the middle of the aisle and then like walks around it to kind of keep some kind of space. But it's fucking annoying because I just want to get my shit and leave. But there's still people that treat it like the fucking community center, that stand over here by the fucking rollback Fruit Loops and have a group meeting. Yeah, most people are. Like, I'm half tempted to just stand there and let people walk the fuck into me. It's like, uh, fuck, man. I want to kind of build my own shopping cart. Something that's like a cross between a James Bond car and something from Mad Max. I think if I get a bigger Bluetooth speaker and just bring that with me and play some music, that should clear the aisles. Oh, absolutely death metal. You don't start playing the Dead at the grocery store. Every fucking stoner with the munchies is gonna come over and talk to you. You want to play shit that makes people look at you and like want to walk the other way. Oh yeah, I remember I was fucking looking for something, and I did have my speaker on. It wasn't that loud, but it was loud enough where you could hear me, like hear it like 10 feet away. And this old guy is kind of standing, you know, a good ways away, and he's kind of looking at me and rubbing his chin, and I keep moving away looking for what I'm looking for, and he keeps, kind of following me and rubbing his chin. And I stop and I look at him. I said, "Can I help you with something, buddy?" He's an old man, like I said, and he goes, "Well, I was going to ask you if you could give me a hand, but I heard that music you were playing, and I had to think about it for a minute." I'm like, "Dude, if you ever hear this music, approach the fucking person, because it's like we're just like deadheads in leather and spikes usually. Like, we're not mean people. We're usually really fucking cool." I said, if you're in trouble and you see someone with long hair and a bunch of tattoos, and maybe they got spikes in their fucking face or ears, so talk to them, dude. They'll have your back, regardless of what they look like or your opinion of them. But yeah, BB, you start playing the Dead, or something good and old like that. Allman Brothers, Creedence. People are gonna start wanting to dance around. Yeah, not around here, goth. I would be surprised. I'd probably be pleasantly surprised, but there's very few people that I see at Walmart that I think would start moshing if I was playing like fucking Rain and Blood or something. Yeah, the Bluetooth fucking adapter for the car fucking shit the bed like 2 months ago. I've been too cheap to go get another one. Allie keeps telling me to go check them out. Well, I'm like, I don't like dealing with the electronics department anywhere. And most of them have everything under glass. Yeah, you would. I mean, depending on the music, you know, uh, the death metal people would definitely start looking at you, probably with a negative expression on their face. I had a buddy with just his work truck, just a plain Ford F-150 crew cab. No, it was extra cab. It wasn't a full crew cab. And he had a decent little system in that truck. It bumped pretty good. So we're listening to Megadeth or Metallica, and we're stuck in traffic, and everybody's looking around like, where the fuck is that coming from? And we're looking around with them, acting like we don't know. So only the people directly next to us knew exactly where the fuck it was coming from. But that was always funny to do too. Or you throw on some death metal or something else that's just nuts. Like throw on Weird Al Yankovic or Primus. But the Dead, I think, would get a good reaction from a fair amount of people. I see a lot of people that would probably like the Grateful Dead. or some other, hippie era band. Yeah, I don't like ordering and waiting though. You know what I mean? And Allison likes to switch up what she cooks, and I don't trust ordering produce or meat or dairy even. We've tried the thing with good night, Natasha. Thanks for stopping by. It's always good to see you. Uh yeah, we did the shop from home shit and got like brown lettuce and weird looking meat. But yeah, she likes to switch up. Sometimes she'll go in there with a fucking plan to make something for dinner, and then she'll see something that's either on sale or that is something she hadn't seen before, and it makes her think of another fucking thing she'd wanted to cook. So she'll switch up on the spot. Not often, but sometimes she will do that. Especially when it's like a quick, easy thing, and we didn't get out to go shop until late. She'll call an audible. Yeah, even like I'm kicking myself in the ass because I ordered pumps for the Oscar tank to build the filter because I just didn't see them at PetSmart or Petco. I went in there the day before my pumps were supposed to get here, and I fucking found they were different style, but it would have been just as good. Probably a little better. It would have been a little bit more flow, but and a little cheaper if I would have just went there and saw them and bought it. But now I know that if I need a new one, I can just go get one for a decent price. Not gonna kill me. Yeah. I've picked up a thing of, I think it was spring mix at Walmart, and there was a live moth in it. The plastic thing, the little cheap plastic cover. Like, you know, so, yeah, it was crawling around in there. I don't know what they did with it. I know I handed it to the produce guy that was stocking the bananas and told him, "Look at the moth in there." He laughed and brought it in the back. I don't know if they opened it and let the poor bastard out or not. But one day I was in there and someone was showing someone else a live stream on Facebook from Walmart. And the one lady's like, "Yo, is that this Walmart?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I'm like, "Holy shit." I look over their shoulder and I see it's in the bread aisle. So I go look and there's like 4 people on Facebook Live showing the mouse running across the bread on the bread aisle, literally up and down the whole fucking thing on like the second from the top shelf. The following week they had that shit torn apart and they were putting different shelves there. They put better shelves, but I don't know. I'm assuming they're trying to see if the mouse was getting in underneath it or something, but they probably just ran across the fucking floor at night. I mean, you always see a bird or two, you know. Yeah, BB. Fucking, like I said, there's 4 or 5 people either live streaming it or recording it on their phone, but it was right there at the Walmart that I was standing in. But yeah, this is a town full of weirdos and people that should probably be in an asylum if such institutions existed. But yeah, there's a lot of weirdos around here, man. A lot of odd ducks. Yeah, yep. They breed like fucking rabbits. It's sick. Have you ever seen that movie Idiocracy? Like, it's a not it's a not too dramatized version of almost of what's fucking going on now. Did you get all those mealworms? No. You want that? No. Yeah, I think this town has an unnatural number, an inordinate number of them. Like I see near miss accidents fucking almost every day. Walmart yesterday, just in the parking lot, but on the road. Yeah, yeah. I think he does. I don't. I'm gonna have to look in to see if there's any physical characteristics you could tell by looking to see if they're male or female. Hi, Pegasus. Much love back at you, sweetie. Um, I'm not sure there is until they're like 2 years old or something like that. You could start seeing a physical difference, a slight, if you know what you're looking for, type thing. But otherwise, I'd have to get them in a net and hold them and look at his parts to differentiate. But yeah, I think he knows he's an attractive bastard. He realizes, well, that must be what they're looking at. This fucker can't be pointing the camera at me for 2 hours or so at a clip for nothing. I must be pretty. Yeah, you are. The the color around his back fins was a surprise because he had, I think he was all dark. I don't remember, but I didn't expect that to stay, but definitely happy with the amount of orange and the contrast. Yeah. He's like, yeah, look at this side. Wait, look at that side. And then he comes over here and he's like, don't look at me at all. Come on, that's what people come to see. God damn it, fish. Look at him, I don't care. Really wish the catfish would come out. I've seen videos of people with them that they start looking for them and they can't find them because they're looking under the logs and under the rock, and they got a big full grown one, and then they happen to look and he's like just sitting like on the gravel out in the open, like part of the scenery. Like, why don't any one of you three fuckers do that? The closest that any of them come is the one that hangs out by the heater. And he's there now. I don't know who'd be able to see him though. It's kind of dark over there. But he hangs out back there. Yeah, you could see him between the corner and a heater. Just hangs out there. But I think he's the smaller one. But fuck, I gotta see if I can't get that back where it was before. I think that's it. But yeah, the biggest one lives under the big rocks here. Alright, I think that's where we were, yeah. And the other two, like I said, yeah, we should all print that out or save it and put it as the title or as a heading at the top. Well, fuckers, I gotta head out. So I'm gonna say goodbye for now. Say goodbye, Pigpen. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for coming by. Bye, fuckers.